guys, welcome back. Maya Rigging 101. Today we're gonna do two things. We're gonna finalize the rig. We're gonna finish it, especially the muscles, and then we're gonna skin it, which means that we're gonna tell which joint should influence which vertex in our mesh. So that's called skin binding. We're gonna do that as well today. But first off, I want to talk about the muscles. I tried it in the game engine and it just exploded. Especially because, well, for the muscles to actually, or the joints actually work like muscles, we need to scale them. That didn't work out that well in game engines, because then the mesh would just explode, because these vertices would actually scale. They wouldn't slide, but they would scale, so it just blew up. So we're gonna fix them. It's not that difficult at all. It's just a bit of tweaking. It takes like 5 minutes to do anyway. So and after that we're gonna move on to the skinning of the character. So let's first do the muscles. I got rid of the one in the neck, the trapezium, because for that one to actually work, we would need to scale the mesh, and that didn't work out too well. Because then it would just explode, and then his neck would be like 10 times bigger. So I got rid of them, and the rest I'm gonna show you now how to fix them. It's not that difficult. In order to get them to work, we need to turn them into a single chain IK solution. So it's not that difficult. I'm gonna show you how I actually made them here already. Oops, there you go. So we're gonna make a single chain by going to skeleton and then clicking on the options for the create IK handle, and just make sure that it's set to the single chain solver. Then just from the child, or the parent to the child, and again I just use this button here, same one again. Oh, and that one I already made that one, lucky me. And same thing here, and one more. Done. See, the neck still doesn't move, so we're gonna fix that. And when we now rotate the arm, the muscles don't actually move. So what we need to do is we need to create a couple of locators, especially for the arms here. So I'm gonna create one here and just move it to the place I want it to be, roughly around here each, probably. Maybe a little bit lower, like here. Let's name this loc L. This is called arm, because I'm gonna connect both the pectoralis major and the Latissimus Dorsi to it. So I'm gonna parent constrain my locator to the arm. So first I'm gonna click on my arm, and then my locator, and then just hit constrain parent. And now that should follow it. It does. And then I'm gonna click again on my locator and then on my IK handle here, and I'm gonna point constrain it this time. So what it does now, it just should nicely follow the basic shape of it, and it does. Same thing here for the Latissimus Dorsi. So I'm gonna grab my locator here and then my IK handle, and again point. So now this should follow, and it does just that. Perfect. Ideally you would also name this one. Let's do this like IK pecs, or L pecs, and IKL lat. There you go. So same thing here. We're gonna make a point. We're gonna make a locator for the one here, for the upper joint. Oh, let's first do the other side actually. So I'm gonna copy paste this one to here. Let's copy this value for the X, so it's exactly the same, but then in a minus. There you go. And then joint locator constrain parent, and then locator IK point, and same here, locator IK point. Also I should name this one IKR pecs and IKR lat. There you go. Beautiful. See? Easy. So let's create 2 more locators, or just copy paste this one. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna snap it to this joint, maybe a little bit smaller. There you go. This is the neck, and this one here is the like a L neck. So we want this one to move with the head, and that's it. So when the head rotates, this one follows it. So we could probably just parent constrain it if we're lucky. We are, and then just parent this one to that one. So I'm going to set, let's do it like this, see if that works. It does. So just parent it, and then this one should be parent constrained again to the joint over here. So I'm gonna parent it. See if it actually works. Eesh, right? You can see here it doesn't work that good, but it doesn't good enough because we only want the that it actually doesn't follow the head is fine. We don't care that much. We just want to get the basic stuff like this in here, the rotation, like this point here. That's perfect. So it's same thing here. Oh, whoa, we should not do that. Let's create a new locator here. The scale is this. There we go. And again, parent constrain this, or just parent it. So first let's do the head, and then the parent, and then child parent P. So now we should be able to rotate this one as well, and then just parent constrain the locator here. There you go. So now the muscles should behave okay-ish. It's not perfect, but it will do just fine. And that's it. That's it for the entire rig. So now we can move on to the actual skin binding. I'll show you what happens. So there are two methods of doing that. One is called the interactive method, and the other one is just the skinning method. And I'll show you both, of course. So what we need to do is go to our window and outliner and select all our joints. So I'm going to select my pelvis here, so that's the root of my hierarchy. And then I'm also going to select my neck muscles. Done. Next up would be selecting your mesh, and that's it. So when you go to skin, you can find two options here: bind and interactive bind skin. I'll show you what it is. So I'm going to use the interactive bind skin. So I'm just going to click here, and you get this bad boy over here. Double click on the icon over there, and you get the options. So what you see here right now are things called an envelope. This capsule here is an envelope, and it tells you which vertex which vertices are influenced by our joint. In this case, the pelvis is now controlling both the stomach and the legs, which sounds rather painful. So we don't want to do that. So we need to make some adjustments here. So you see here, there's this massive circle at the bottom. You just click it and drag it up, and you can also just, well, turn it around if you want to. Rotate it. You should in this case, maybe a little bit further actually. Something like this. And then again, just tweak the envelope itself a little bit bigger. So the colors mean that red means 100% influence, and then bluish is like ish influence, etc. So in this case, we're gonna want to have these ones red, as red as you possibly can. Maybe lower this one down. And this is fine, in all cases this is just the initial setup for the skinning. So we then can move on to the leg, for example, and make this one bigger here. You can drag it here, make it bigger. Should be a little bit lower. And a little bit higher, so it's just the knee. Right now the leg is also influencing the other leg. That sounds rather painful, so I'm gonna scale down a little bit and then just make this one bigger. So it's still red, without influencing the other leg. There you go. Then lower leg, check here. It should influence the foot, so I'm gonna a little bit higher, a little bit deeper, something like this. Then the ankle, it's too big. Something like here maybe, a toe. Same thing for a toe, make it bigger and make it fit. There you go. So let's check the spines. Again, doesn't have to be perfect because this is just the initial setup. Let's make it bigger actually, there you go. Now the cool thing is as well, it mirrors it by itself. So the initial values are mirrored. You can see here the other envelope here is visible. which is really nice. It saves you a lot of work, so it's always a good thing. Spine 4 maybe should be a little bit bigger, a lot bigger, and wider. There you go. And then spine 5 is the chest, I think. So spine 6 is the chest, etc., etc. This is a method. I don't really like it because it's really tedious. So I'm going to show you what happens now. So when we now grab the controller here for the arm, for example, when you move it, you can see it's actually starting to deform, but it's doing it really bad. This looks really painful. So I don't really like this method, to be honest. It's just tedious to set up. It takes forever to set up, and the results are not that good. So what I'm going to show you is a different method. I'm going to hide my muscles actually, etc. You should be in they should all be in our rig layer. Might as well add them straight away. And done. Yep. Okay. So I'm gonna unbind it first because it's still deformed. So I'm gonna click on my mesh, then go to skin, and then hit unbind skin. So when now we move it again, it doesn't do anything. So the next step, or the different method, would be is to again go to your outliner and then click on the pelvis again. If I can find the pelvis here, and then select all the muscles again. You could just do it here as well. These are the IK. I shouldn't do that actually. Nope. And let's check our rig, and then just select these. Holy crap, that's annoying. And then the muscles, and again mesh. But this time we're going to use the bind skin method. So check the options. You've got two very important settings here. First is the bind method. I tend to set it to geodesic voxel because it just works better. It just gives you better results. And also the skinning method to dual quaternion. It's pretty new-ish and it works miracles. It's actually really good. So don't be afraid to use it. So geodesic voxel and dual quaternion. You can also set the maximum influences, like 4 or 5. So this is how many joints can influence one certain vertex. In this case it's 5. You can also set this one higher. The more detail you have, the more finer detail you have, like cables for example, or like small strands of hair, the higher it should be. In this case I'm going to go for like 256. Just hit bind skin and wait. It might take a while, so I'm going to pause it. We're back. It finished the calculations, so let's see what happens now. We now grab the controller here. You can actually see it starts deforming okay-ish. It's not perfect because we need to tweak it, but it does it quite well. It doesn't look that weird anymore. The legs actually work really well. I'm kind of surprised by that. Almost perfect. Nice. Okay, let's save this. So next step is fixing the actual deformations. Simple trick is just to add keyframes, so that you add the extreme poses, like the arms, like in this angle, like T-pose angle, etc. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna only do one side, and then you can just copy paste it to the other side. So I'm gonna focus on the left side over here, the left leg and left arm. So I'm gonna grab my controller, left hand controller, and hit S, which means that I'll make a keyframe. That's something like frame 10, whatever. Oh, this one always has keyframes, for example. On frame 10, that helps. Set the keyframe toggle on and just pull it up. Straighten the hand out. Don't forget the elbow controller. Again, frame 10. And move it up. A little bit higher, like this. There you go. So you can see here it doesn't look that great. We got some very weird deformations here, especially in the chest as well. That shouldn't happen. Let's see what it looks like smoothed. This line here is pretty okay. I like it. But then the rest is like really creepy. So let's fix it. So when I have my mesh selected and I hold right click, you can actually select paint skin weight tool, which gives you this, which is just a visualization of the influences. So white means 100%, black means 0. So right now the pelvis is controlling this area here, not entirely because this isn't white per se, but yeah, you get the idea. So let's go up to frame 10 again, and let's find our left upper leg arm. Sorry, here. And you can see here that the upper arm isn't actually influencing the entire upper arm in its entirety. So we need to fix it definitely. So I'm gonna set my paint operation to replace, because then we can add a certain value in there, which is just, well, replaced. So if for example you have a value there like 0.1, by using replace it just gets turned into 1. When you hold B on your keyboard, you can actually drag with the left mouse button to make the brush smaller and bigger. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger, and then I'm just gonna paint. You can actually see what happens here already. The vertex pop into position where they should be, in comparison to the upper arm joint. So just start painting. Doesn't have to be perfect, because this is again just the initial setup. We're gonna make it better as we go along. A little bit smaller here. That one. Yep. That one. You get some weird stuff, but that's because of the elbow. There you go. Maybe a little bit here as well. It's just paint, paint, paint. Maybe this entire edge loop here. Would that be nice? That would be nice. There you go. This one even further, further. Also, don't forget the upper arm, the deltoids. It might look a bit weird at first, because we didn't do anything else yet with the other joints, so this will look weird, but it's fine. Let's check the back side. This looks really bad, really bad. Okay, then just hit Q to exit it, and let's see what it looks like. Yeah, no, right? This we got some major issues here. Major issues. Let's actually straighten the arm a little bit. There you go. It's not bad, but it's not good either, right? Let's lower it a little bit, something like this. The arm as well. Let's actually forearm twist. That looks pretty okay, actually. Not perfect, but ouch. Looks pretty okay. Okay, so we again just move on. In this case, let's check out everything else. So the shoulder area is the most difficult thing to actually skin. I'll just say that straight away. It's really difficult, because you have like multiple muscles intersecting each other, and you have multiple bones as well. So getting a perfect skin solution is nearly impossible. I'll say that straight away, because it's really difficult, right? So, but this example over here should also be influenced like a little bit by the actual upper arm. So I'm gonna lower my value to something like 0.5 roughly, and then again paint. So you get this. You see here that you get this nice smooth transition. Just be careful though, because I fucked this one up already. This should be 1. Should all be 1. This wasn't 1 yet, so there you go. The back still looks like a mess. So this one and this one should all be 1. There you go. Let's check it again. Let's check the shoulder rotation, what happens. Yeah, ouch. Ouch, ouch. It's really bad. We should definitely check out what's happening here. So I'm gonna check out, I think it's probably my back muscle. It's doing something weird. If I can find it. It's right. Where's my left one? Left. This is also why you should name your joints, otherwise it's impossible to find them. No, why can't I find you? It's really annoying me. Upper arm, finger, 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 finger. These are the eyes, clavicle. Oh, I didn't name them. See, that's why you should name stuff. You can see here that the back muscle is actually influencing way too much. So I'm gonna set my value to 0. Just paint this part over here black. Paint it black. So now actually again looks like an actual chest. A bit more here as well probably, and then this should be a little bit more white. Actually I'm gonna make it black straight away. A little bit easier. So then I'm gonna add and something like very low value. I'm gonna paint over it again. So I have these subtle deformations. A little bit further on. A little stronger here. There you go. That is much better. This part at least. But something weird happening here with this one, because that's the clavicle. So let's go to clavicle, that one. See, this one is doing that as well. That doesn't look that good, so I'm gonna hit replace again, make this one black, because the clavicle shouldn't influence this part over here. It's not very painful. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. There you go. Again, this part should be black, 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 and this part here as well shouldn't be influenced by it. There you go. Let's check it again. Still weird. It's probably because the upper arm is influencing this part over here, so I'm gonna find it. It's not. Okay, it's not. It's probably the spine. Yep. Now you can see gets very complicated quickly. So this should be a little bit bigger here, so it smooths it out a little bit better. There you go. Maybe it's even more. Slightly. This should be white here. White as well. So again, white means 100% influence. And it's very simple trick is just to make everything really extreme at first, and then getting in the finer details, the finer skin sliding, that sort of stuff. You can also use smooth in this case. So when I hit smooth, you can see that it starts blending the values. It's really nice. I'm gonna make this one a little bit bigger actually. Make it white, white as well. And then again, smooth it out. Big brush. And just get these subtle things in here. You can see it here, it gets subtle and subtler. It's actually really nice. This one's a bit weird though, I'm gonna fix that in a minute. So let's check it again. I just focus on this muscle over here at first. Looks pretty good. And it's creepy as fuck, I know, but yeah. So this part here is still very awkward, so I'm gonna see what is happening here. I'm gonna go for my clavicle probably. Nope. That's probably my back muscle. Yeah, let's add a little bit here, a little bit of value to it, so it smooths it out a little bit better, even better here. There you go. Maybe more here. This is dangerous, as you can see. This is why it's very tedious to do. It can take a while for it to actually look nice. It's painful. Again, let's go to the spine. 6. And add, and then a very subtle value. Make it bigger. Same here. And smooth it out. It's getting there, but yeah, it's tedious as hell. Let's add again low value, a little bit more here probably. Yeah, this helps. Looks better. Not perfect, but it looks better. Let's add a small value here as well, so we get this nice subtle transition. A little bit more. There you go. Could be a little bit too much, but yeah, let's move it out. A bit better still, but you get still this very weird part of there. So let's check out the other muscles first. Let's do the left one, Latissimus Dorsi. This one should be black. This the small joint here. I'm gonna make it black entirely. It's also a tip just to go by every joint and see okay which parts should it not influence, and just make it black. So you can see here we got a vertex that is on the loose. This one here should be linked to the Latissimus Dorsi, but we can't paint on it because it's hidden inside the mesh. So I'm gonna exit the tool, and then I'm just gonna click on mesh and then go to vertex and just click it, and then just select the vertex that you want to. Again, go to paint skin and weights tool, find your joint that you want to, and then just up the value like 1 and hit flood, which means that a certain vertex is it floods the vertex with a certain value, in this case of 1. It's a bit of a, it works quite well for the vertices that you can't reach. So let's do it here as well. Let's paint them. This one should definitely be smoothed a lot, so let's do that. Smooth. This entire part here should be smoothed with the upper arm. Let's do this one here. So I'm gonna add small value, so it gets raised a little bit, like an actual muscle would. A little bit more here. There you go. Nothing too harsh, just subtle. And smooth it out. Especially here. This looks quite okay, I think. Let's check out the backside and see what it does. Yeah, you can see there's some skin sliding feel to it. It's quite okay. It looks quite nice. It's not perfect. Well, it's at least it's a start, right? So let's check anything else. Let's check on my fingers actually. I want to see if they perform properly. And they don't at all for some reason. Don't know why. Wow. Something went terribly wrong here. I have no idea why. I think I broke it. Cool. I have no idea what's doing here, but yeah. I probably broke it, but I'll just have a look at that later on. I don't know why. The wrist looks painful as fuck, but yeah. Let's check out the legs. The legs perform really well. I'm really pleased by that. It's almost perfect. So let's get this to 1, 0, and then again hit a keyframe, then like frame 15 for example. Just lower down the entire spine. You can still see there's some sliding going on here that shouldn't be happening. Overall it's quite good. Let's unselect it, let's hide your rig so I can see a little bit better. Something weird's happening here at the obliques. You can see it there. It's a little bit painful, but overall it's really nice. The legs, the knees performed quite well. A bit pointy, but yeah. Let's check it out, the actual upper leg. Upper legs, this one. Maybe we want to add a bit more influence here, so I'm going to smooth it out a little bit better. So it's just a little bit softer. Maybe again add small value here. Let's do the lower leg as well. So it's just combining the values of the vertices. And smooth it out again. Same here. It looks a bit too pointy, but yeah. Let's check out the inside. Lower leg. Let's first make it black on top. This part here should be black. Shouldn't influence it. And then maybe add small value again here in the middle. And see what happens. Okay. Looks okay, but then smooth this part here a little bit. Subtle smooth. More smooth. Same here. Just smooth it out a little bit better. And check it again. That's fine, that's good. This part here needs to be smoothed a little bit more on the inside. It's subtle. There you go. Much better. Smooth it out again, see what it does. Yeah, actually got some intersection here, but I can live with that, to be honest. You're bound to have that. So let's check out the feet. Let's do a foot roll. Yeah, that's good. That's quite okay. That's pretty good. Let's check out the spine for a minute. See how that one does. Either really good or really bad. Bad. Not bad, but yeah, not great. Oh, this looks nasty. Just make sure that if you're doing the poses, that you make sure that the poses can actually be done by yourself as well. So the poses are a bit more natural, otherwise you get some really weird stuff. Let's delete this keyframe. I mean, making poses that cannot happen, it doesn't really help you. Check out the head for a minute. See, the neck muscles perform quite well, except for the lower part. Other than that, quite good. You can just fix it. Let's do it right now actually. Left. Muscle. The influence is way too much. Replace 0, let's make it black. It should definitely not influence the ear. Ever. Or the jawline in this case. Ever. And then just paint and make it black where it should be black. Again, the entire ear should not be influenced. Okay. Neither should this part here or this part. Maybe even further here. There you go. Okay, let's check it out again. It should behave a little bit better. It does. Ish. Not perfect, but you get the idea. It's also because the head itself isn't working perfectly yet, but yeah. So you can see why this is tedious. It's fun, but tedious. And then just smooth it out all over the place. Also maybe a little bit here. So you get this nice solid transition. Yeah, this works quite well. This one is quite nice. Let's do black. This one should be black. You should do anything. Same thing here. I'm just gonna make it black here, otherwise you'll get some very odd results. Yeah, looks okay. Let's check out the neck. Neck itself, if I can find it. Hand, neck. So the neck should also do this part here, so I'm gonna replace it. This should be white, because this is done by the neck. Same here, this should be white. A little bit better, something like this. Let's see what happens now. Much better, much better. Far from perfect, but yeah, this looks much better. Yep. So it's not that difficult. As you can see, it just takes a lot of work, which is the downside of doing this. Still, it's fun. It's very rewarding and satisfying, because when you're done, the mesh behaves like it should and actually looks like a human being without looking that creepy. But yeah, again, this takes a lot of time, so I'm not gonna do everything. Let's see, spine 4. What are you? Spine 5. Spine 5 should also probably influence this part over here. I'm gonna do this. Oh, not that part, this part. It's also just testing a lot to see how it should behave. Does it work nice? If it does work nice, then good for you. If it doesn't, then tweak it. So it's very time consuming. Hence, I'm not gonna do everything. And just test it. Does this look good? Looks a bit better. Select them all. Yeah, this looks a little bit better. Deformations right now here in the back. A little bit. See, that's still not perfect. You can see here what's going on. I'm gonna hit S here and I'm gonna pose it in a certain angle. There you go. Now I can see what the hell's going on, so I'm gonna go to my spine 5, probably 4. Doesn't do anything, apparently. Gonna go 4. I'm gonna add something low value here. I'm just gonna paint over it. Now you can see there's already a very subtle transition happening, which is what you want anyway. So then spine 5 again. I'm gonna hit smooth all the way and just smooth it out. Same for 4, smooth it out. That's pretty much all the thing you have to do, smooth it out constantly till it's perfect. Of course, again, you can never make it perfect. It's not possible. That's just the way it is. When it comes to rigging, you can make it perfect by adding a thing called a blend shape, a corrective blend shape. That's used a lot for certain values. For example, when you have the spine or the shoulder area, you often create a separate mesh for it that actually does it perfectly, so then you can blend between them. So when the joint structure has a certain pose, you blend in a blend shape that fixes the things for you. It's a quite common technique. It actually is really cool, but it's very extensive, and I'm not gonna do it because that takes forever to actually explain. And this is pretty painful. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep on doing this till I'm bored, which shouldn't take too long because this is rather tedious. Let's make it white. And then blend the smooth out here, top as well, and then next one, 4. Replace. Etc. 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 Now keep in mind though that if once it's skin bound, you cannot change the mesh anymore. So if you want to change it, then you have to unbind it again and then do it again from scratch. Yeah, it's not fun, but that's the way it is. So I'm gonna keep on doing this. Next video will be about cloth and rigging like a cape or a skirt. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just keep on tweaking. It will take, if you're unlucky, it will take several days. If you're lucky, it will take like half an hour. In this case, I'm not lucky because of all the muscles. But if you have a simple character like a cartoon character, then that should take too long in theory. So yeah, I'd say good luck, and I'll see you again next time.